Welcome back with a new math tutorial. In this video, we'll talk about multiplication properties and division rule. So we'll start with the multiplication properties. The first property that we will talk about, which is commutative property. In the commutative property, if you change the order of the two numbers, the result will be the same, or the product will be the same. For example, we have here 4 multiplied by 2. 4 times 2 equals 8. If you change the order and make it 2 multiplied by 4, you will find that the answer will be equals 8. So if you change the order, the product will be the same and there is no change. Now the second property that we have, which is called identity property. In the identity property, that if you multiply any number by 1, the result will be the same or the product will be the same. There is no change will be happen to the product. Once you multiply it by 1, the answer will be the same. 4 times 1 equals 4. And also we have 1 multiplied by 4 still equals 4. But if you multiply by 0, and that's defined by the 0 property. When you multiply by 0, the answer will be equal 0. Whatever the number that you multiplied by 0, the answer will be equal 0. And that's defined by the 0 property of multiplication. Now with the division rule. When you divide 0 by any number, the answer will be equal 0. So 0 divided by any number equals 0, and that's called the 0 property. So we have here 0 divided by 5 equals 0. That's called zeros in division. So another one we have here divided by 1. We have two cases in divided by 1. If you divide any number by itself, the answer will be equals 1. And when you divide any number by 1, the answer will be the same number. So when we divide any number by 1, the answer will be the same. That's defined by 1 in division. But when you divide any number by itself, the answer will be equals 1. 7 divided by 1 equals 7. And 4 divided by 4 equals 1. Now how we can find the question? You will find that we need to identify the property or the rule that we have in each of the following. 12 multiplied by 0 equals 0. In this question, we multiply a number by 0. So that's called 0 property in multiplication. 8 times 5 equals 5 multiplied by 8. You change the order but you keep the same number. That's defined by commutative property. 6 divided by 1 equals 6. That's defined by 1 in division. But because we have two properties in 1 in division, so we need to identify which one of them. We have here a number divided by 1. So this property is divided any number by 1, it will be the same number. But in question number 4, you will find that 10 divided by 10 equals 1. Also we have here 1 in division. But when you divide any number by itself, the answer will be equals 1. 8 times 0 equals 0. When you multiply any number by 0, the answer will be equal 0, and that's defined by 0 in multiplication. In question number 6, we have 0 divided by 12 equals 0. When you divide 0 by any number, it will be equal 0, and that's defined by 0 in division. In question number 22, we have here 21 multiplied by 1 equals 22. When you multiply any number by 1, the answer will be the same, and that's defined by the identity property. In this problem, we need to find each unknown, then identify the property. 3 divided by which number equals 1? To make the answer equals 1 in division, you need to divide it by itself. So 3 divided by 3 equals 1, and this property is called 1 in division. In question number 10, we have a number multiplied by 8 equals 8 multiplied by 4. So what is the number that we have here? We have here the same number. We have 8 before equal and 8 after equal. It means we have the same number before equal and after equal, but different order. So the variable or the unknown here equals 4. And this property is called the commutative property. If you change the order, it doesn't change anything. Just keep the same answer as it is without any change. That's defined by the commutative property. A number, if you divide it by 11 equals 0. The only case that you find 0 at the quotient, that the dividend equals 0. The first number here equals 0, divided by any number equals 0. That is the only case. If the dividend equals 0, the quotient will be equal 0. So here we have here the dividend equals 0. That's defined by 0 in division. A number multiplied by 1 equals 15. To make the answer equals the same. When you multiply any number by 1, the result will be the same. It means the unknown here equals 15. And that's defined by the identity property. So by the end of the lesson, now we can identify the multiplication properties and division rule.